The WindUp Bird Chronicle for the mysterious sounds echoing in your life. Dear readers, have you ever felt that inexplicable sense of emptiness, that feeling of being alone and alienated from the world? Or perhaps at times, the complexity of the world has overwhelmed you, leaving you feeling uneducated and burdened with self-criticism. Throughout our lives, we ask countless questions, yet finding clear answers is never easy. At times, simply surviving the ordinary routine of life can feel like a luxury. Yet today, I'd like to recommend a single book to you: Haruki Murakami's novel The WindUp Bird Chronicle. It might not resemble the kind of difficult literature or highbrow intellectual tome you might expect. Instead, it is a peculiar and sometimes confusing collection of stories. However, within this peculiarity, you might discover a unique thread that helps you understand your own life and the world. This book does not demand any specialized knowledge or background. All it requires is the willingness to open your eyes and ears to the mysteries of life and to offer your heart with an eagerness to connect. 1. Cracks in the Ordinary Life and the Beginning of an Unknown Journey. The story begins in the life of a completely ordinary man. The protagonist, Okada Toru, is a middle-aged unemployed man without any remarkable qualities. He lives a dull life, barely surviving thanks to his wife, Kumiko, who is a strong and resourceful woman. His days are filled with mundane tasks like feeding the cat and cooking simple meals. Life appears peaceful on the surface but is ultimately lifeless and monotonous. One day, a small crack begins to form in this ordinary life. First, his cat, Noboru, disappears, and soon after, his wife, Kumiko, vanishes without a trace. From the cat's disappearance to the wife's sudden absence, Toru's life unravels into an uncontrollable mystery. These seemingly minor incidents thrust him into an unfamiliar journey where he seeks the truth behind these strange events. This is not merely a fictional tale. We, too, experience such sudden disruptions in our lives. Sudden job loss, the end of a relationship, or unforeseen events can shake our lives in an instant. In those moments, we often feel lost and uncertain about what to do. Toru's story reflects our very own confusion and anxiety. He is not a hero with extraordinary powers or talent but an ordinary person like ourselves. Because of this, we can deeply empathize with his journey and feel his struggles and confusion. 2. Descent into the Well and Exploration of the Inner Self. One of the most symbolic spaces in Okada Toru's journey is the well. To find his missing cat and wife and to uncover the mysteries of the world, he descends into a neighbor's abandoned well. The well is a dark, isolated space with no light, representing a place of separation from the external world. Sitting on the cold, damp floor, he confronts his solitude and silence hidden. This descent into the well is not merely a physical movement but a mental journey into the deepest layers of his inner self. In our fast-paced lives, it is difficult to find time to reflect on ourselves. We are often swept away by others' expectations and the noise of the outside world, failing to hear our own voices. However, through the profound silence and isolation of the well, Toru is finally able to face his true self, his most honest emotions, repressed memories, and essential questions for himself. While in the well, Toru experiences mysterious encounters and feels connections to people in different times and spaces. These experiences resemble the insights we gain through meditation or deep introspection. By cutting off external stimuli and focusing inward, we gain new perspectives or unravel the knots of complex problems. The WindUp Bird Chronicle conveys the message that true understanding often arises from deep solitude and silence. Why not take a moment in your busy life to descend into your own well? It will not be a waste of time. 3. Strange Characters and the Expansion of Reality. The world is wider than you know. Toru's journey leads him to encounter various peculiar characters: the girl Me, who seems to foresee the future, the sisters Kira and Morona, who claim to heal the soul, Major Mamiya, burdened by the wounds of war, and his wife's brother Wataru, who appears to control everything. These characters cross the boundaries between reality and surrealism, broadening Toru's worldview and revealing new dimensions of the world he never recognized. These characters do more than assist or hinder Toru. They each raise profound questions about life and the world. May explores the meaning of life and death, while the sisters Kira and Morona offer insights into the wounds and healing of the human soul. Particularly, Major Mamiya's story poignantly illustrates how the horrors of war and its lasting scars continue to affect the present, reminding us of history's weight and cruelty. In this way, the WindUp Bird Chronicle is not just the story of Okada Toru alone but a narrative formed by the overlapping lives and experiences of many people around him. As you read this novel, you will indirectly experience how the world is filled with a diversity of people and how each bears their own pain and struggles. Recognizing that your perceived reality might only be the tip of the iceberg can broaden your perspective and deepen your understanding of the world. This book quietly suggests that knowledge and cultivation do not stem from simply reading many books, but from the willingness to embrace and understand diverse viewpoints. 4. Layers of Time and Memory, and the Shadow of War. Another crucial axis of this novel is how the past, present, personal memories, and collective history are intertwined. In particular, Major Mamiya's harrowing wartime experiences in Manchuria form one of the darkest yet most impactful parts of the novel. He recounts the brutal violence and loss of his comrades, as well as the lifelong emotional scars he carries. Mamiya's recollections are not just stories from the past, they silently and subtly influence the present lives of Toru, Kumiko, and others. The novel poignantly reveals how memories of violence and loss transcend generations, subtly shaping individual lives in ways we might not fully recognize. It reminds us that our present is a result of the past, and the pain or mysteries we face today may have roots in a long-forgotten history. While reading this part, you might realize that historical events you once thought irrelevant to your life may instead permeate every corner of your existence. The sufferings of our ancestors and the national tragedies we overlook might unconsciously influence our lives today. This book powerfully reminds us that remembering the past and reflecting on its meaning is not just an academic pursuit, it is essential for understanding the present and shaping the future. 5. The WindUp Bird and the Order of the World, Insight into Invisible Forces. The WindUp Bird, also the novel's title, is a recurring and significant symbol throughout the story. The bird's eerie kiet-kiet call in the forest is described as a sound that winds the gears of the world. This mysterious sound often emerges before events unfold or when fate takes an unpredictable turn. What does the WindUp Bird symbolize? It might represent the vast, unseen forces that subtly guide the world, or the unpredictable flow of destiny itself, like a toy that only moves when its spring is wound. The novel invites us to question whether our lives and the world around us are governed by some hidden order we cannot perceive. At times when we feel powerless against uncontrollable events, the WindUp Bird stirs our curiosity about the hidden mechanics of the universe. Okada Toru confronts these unseen forces or seeks his place within their flow. He faces Wataru, the malevolent figure who imprisons his wife and disrupts life's order. This confrontation symbolizes resistance not only against personal grievances but also against the apathy and indifference of modern society. Ultimately, Toru draws on the inner strength he gains through the solitude of the well and his encounters with strange characters to confront this challenge. This story shows us that we can fight against the absurdities of life not with passivity but with courage and insight from within. 6. Reconstruction of the self and the courage to move forward. Toru's journey does not end with clear, neat conclusions. The novel is not a tale where all mysteries are solved and villains are punished. Instead, it leaves many questions for the reader to ponder. Even the relationship with his wife Kumiko, who disappeared, remains ambiguous. However, it is evident that Okada Toru is no longer the same as he was at the beginning. Through the solitude of the well and encounters with intriguing characters, he reconfigures himself. He does not avoid the pain and mysteries of life but confronts them directly, exploring the darkness within and striving to uncover hidden truths. In this process, he transforms from a weak individual at the mercy of external forces into someone capable of making choices and taking action. Even without perfect answers, he gains the courage and wisdom to walk his own path. This is the most significant insight this book offers us. Life is neither simple nor clear. We constantly face unknown events and unpredictable twists of fate. At times, we may despair, feeling our knowledge and cultivation are insufficient to grasp the bigger picture of the world. However, what matters is that we look inward amidst chaos and uncertainty, search for the meaning of life, and ultimately find the courage to live our lives in our own way. The WindUp Bird Chronicle does not claim to have the one true answer. Instead, it quietly encourages you the strength to find answers already exists within you. When you feel lost in a complex world, this book will pose intriguing questions and inspire you to seek your own answers. Conclusion: the sound of the WindUp bird echoing in your life. Haruki Murakami's The WindUp Bird Chronicle may feel like a long dream, or at times, a nightmare. It is filled with strange stories and symbols that defy rational explanation. Therefore, it might feel particularly unfamiliar and challenging for those lacking knowledge or cultivation. Paradoxically, it is precisely because of this that the book can offer you a unique and profound experience. We are bombarded with information and learn many things in life, yet often what truly matters is not what we know, but how we feel and think. This novel stimulates exactly that emotional and intellectual capacity. As you read, you will journey with Toru into the unknown, explore your inner self, and search for the meaning of life's joys and sorrows. When you close this book, you may suddenly hear the mysterious sound of the WindUp bird echoing within your life. It will signal that you have come to understand the world a little more deeply and discovered the infinite potential within yourself. Regardless of your level of knowledge, I sincerely recommend that you meet the essential questions of life that this book poses. May your life be filled with new questions and courage.